Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery with IIMFL and Smart Money Alliance. It is a beautiful Monday morning, April 5th, 2021. And boy, oh boy, do we have an important topic today. Before we actually get into the topic, which is shown on the right-hand side of my shared screen, I want to have just a quick conversation about a couple key concepts that will kind of set us up for even, I think, a more fruitful conversation. Number one, if someone is going to own a business, what should their number one goal be according to every business textbook? It should be to earn a profit. Now, that's for-profit businesses, of course. So if our goal as an entrepreneur is to generate profit, well, let's stop for a second. Why would we care about being profitable? Why is that important? Well, without profit, it's not sustainable. And without profit, it's probably not the best use of our time. If we want to do something and lose money, or conversely, just not make money, go form a hobby, go volunteer. So the purpose of business is to generate a profit. Well, how do you generate a profit? You make sales. You have to sell something profitably to someone. Service, products. You can broker, but you have to generate sales to make profit. We can't borrow our way into profit. We can't just go get $100,000 or $1 million or $10 million and become profitable. We're going to have to make sales to generate a profit. Well, how do you make sales? You have to have leads. It doesn't matter if you run Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut, a muffler shop, a babysitting service. We must have leads to generate sales, and then we want profit. Okay. So in our discussion today and talking in the world of small business finance and credit literacy, anyone that tells me that they can't find leads, I'm going to call BS on. And we'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment, but you can either generate your own leads, and some of you are very good at that, and that's fine. Or alternatively, you can buy leads. There are people that will sell you leads or go out and generate leads for you. And I'm depicting it here for just a moment. We'll talk about it more in a few minutes when we make our primary topic the full width of the screen in a moment. So whether it be Fiverr or Upwork or your cousin Vito, there are people that have a skill set that you may want to tap into if that's not yours or it's not the best use of your time to go generate leads. And that can be leads for access to capital or for improving credit. I just wanted to show you here, and I don't know this person. I've not worked with them. I just did a search in preparation for today's call. And on Fiverr, I guess is the way you pronounce it, here's a man or a woman, I don't know who they are. They say they'll generate 100% valid credit repair leads for $1 a lead. Maybe they do a great job, maybe they don't. I don't know. I guess you'd risk $10 to find out. But the bottom line is leads are crucial to make sales, and sales is important to make profit. And I'm going to explain to you today on our main topic, which we're going to start momentarily, how leading with credit can fill your funnel of access to capital leads. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So I'm not promoting Fiverr, let alone this person here. But the point is, there are no shortage of people, especially outside of the United States, where the cost of living is lower, so they can operate and perform services profitably for themselves at a very affordable cost to you. All right, so let's move on past that and get to our main topic today. We all have talked about, and we all know, we should know and understand that if you want to borrow money, you have to meet the underwriting criteria. And if we're going to borrow money, we remember the 3 C's, don't we? We should have learned this in school. And if not, you and I should be out teaching everyone that doesn't know it. If you want to borrow money, you have to have at least credit, cash flow, or collateral, at least one of the 3. And of course, the more of the three you have, the stronger the profile you have, the more access to capital you have, and probably the better terms, the lower cost of capital. Well, our programming has evolved, I think, very strategically to be able to help clients address all three of those C's. Because let's face it, clients that have all three of those C's are not responding to your ads. They're not out looking for capital. They have an appointment this morning at 9 a.m. local time with their bank to sign the paperwork to get the funding they need. If you have all three C's, then there's probably not a problem in accessing capital. We tend to work with people that don't have all three C's to be able to help that underserved population, because there are significant barriers. And so we're not lenders, we're a technical advisor, and we help people move from where they are to where they need to be. So with the three C's, we've been talking about the 60-day credit boost. We've talked about that a lot, and that's not the specific focus today. But what does that mean? That helps people that meet the requirements to move from being subprime to prime, from going from ineligible for loans and funding to eligible. So that's that C. We've talked about collateral. We help people develop key person policies, so now they have collateral to be included in their loan package. And we've talked about that many times. That's not our focus today. The third C that I really want to focus on, and this is important, and I hope that you'll pay attention and assimilate it, and we'll have a little round robin discussion afterwards, is cash flow. You might say, well, why is cash flow important? Why, I'm a early stage business, or I'm pre-launch. Of course, I don't have cash flow yet. If I had cash flow, I wouldn't need to borrow money. And I'm not saying you would say that, but that's maybe the voice of a common client or prospective client. Well, to no surprise, the lender, the extender of credit, would like some confidence that you can afford to pay the loan back. And if the only way that you can pay the loan back is borrowing more money, that is not attractive. That is very high risk. Well, where can cash flow come from? Well, if your business is already operating, then you may be producing enough cash flow that you're looking to grow, and therefore you have existing cash flow from your business to service debt. That'd be perfect, but frankly, most of our clients aren't in that circumstance. Well, maybe we have a W-2 job, we have employment, we have outside income or other business interests. We call this global income. So there's enough income coming in that it can service the debt that we're seeking to borrow. There's other instances where people don't have global existing income, but they want to borrow money to launch a business. And, according to their projections, everything looks like it's going to be just fine. We'll produce more than enough cash flow to be able to service the debt. Well, that's a bit of a riskier proposition for the lender or the extender of credit, isn't it? They're saying, well, currently you can't afford this loan, but you're saying if we loan you this money, you will be able to afford it. So that's where they're going to be more worried about collateral and credit, aren't they? So the point is, and we'll get started on the topic here, is now through the repositioned opportunity fund, you and I can help any willing entrepreneur to generate meaningful cash flow. Meaningful cash flow is important to show the lender or extender of credit that they can afford to service the debt. So again, this is repositioned, so let's go through it together, and we'll have lots of dialogue. So feel free to use the Q&A box, kind of like a chat box of Zoom, as you have questions, comments, concerns. Well, first thing that we know, and we'd launched the Opportunity Fund last year and had some success with it, but one of the first objections we heard from clients is, well, wait, I don't want to go earn income. I just want to borrow money. Well, again, as we've talked about it, borrowing money is fine, and that's a strategic way to leverage and grow start or grow a business. but that does not remove the need to be able to give the lender and or extender of credit confidence that you can afford to pay the borrowed money back. So we need cash flow. We need cash flow. If we don't have cash flow, it's going to put a tremendous burden on really demonstrating more collateral, which many of our clients don't have. So we're positioning this now as a 30-day project. So when we have entrepreneurs that are currently enrolled in access to capital or not, but there's that one of their problems, maybe not their only problem, their only barrier to accessing capital of the 3 C's is cash flow, we now have a solution. We will help you earn $40,000 in the next 30 days. What would that do for you? Would that give you the liquidity to get your business set up properly, to get your key person policy, to have a reasonable bank balance, to be able to show that you have a viable business entity? Of course. And it doesn't have to be 40,000. That's not some magic number, but that's the way the model is set up, is to help anyone, entrepreneur or not, generate $40,000 in a 30-day period. All right, so then we go into the background. So IIMFL, our 501c3 nonprofit, has been selected to administer the Opportunity Fund. The Opportunity Fund is money injected into small businesses to fund working capital, infrastructure, development, compliance, et cetera, to help them become capital ready. Of course, it also helps improve their bank rating and financial statements. So I can't tell you how often, it was just as recent as this morning, some of you, I'll have distribution partners that come and say, well, Tom, if you could just get me funding, I'll be the world's greatest salesperson for you. I'll tell the world and 1 million people will come. And it's like, well, great, but you're not credible. You don't have any of the 3 C's. Just because of your passion, your desire, maybe even your intelligence, that doesn't make you capital ready. That doesn't make you lendable. You have to have at least one of the 3 C's. And we said the more C's you have, the better off you are. The more access to capital you have and the better terms, lower cost. So here we go. We're addressing a key problem that most of our clients and prospects have, is they don't have cash flow to demonstrate the ability to service the debt. So let's give you a more important example. Let's say someone has an 800 credit score, but they don't have any material collateral, let's say that, and they don't have any documented cash flow, and they want to go borrow money. Will they get approved? In general, not. Now, there's a few exceptions, but in general, not. Because what's the lender going to say? Well, great, you've paid all your bills in the past, but you have no money to service this debt. No money to service this debt. Cash flow is important. All right, so let's move on. So this is an important resource, as many small businesses need positive cash flow now. Not at some point in the future. They need it now, within 30 days is how we're defining now, and can be used while accessing SBA business loans. Furthermore, as we learned in school, we talked about this earlier, there are 3 C's of borrowing money: credit worthiness, cash flow, and collateral. And the Opportunity Fund resolves the cash flow dilemma that many early stage businesses encounter, preventing them from being eligible to obtain loans and funding, because they have to be able to service the debt. I would go as far to argue most people that have credit issues really have money issues, because a logical person, if you had enough money coming through, would you pay your bills on time? Well, heck yeah, you would. Would you keep your credit card balances low? Of course you would. The key problem that we see is not really credit, it's money. People have money problems. And this is one way, not the only way, but this is one way that we can help people solve their money problem. Now, we're going to be offering this Opportunity Fund to our clients that have money problems. If they want, and it doesn't cost them anything, so don't worry about that. But if they don't want to use the Opportunity Fund, then we can just simply ask, well, great, what is your plan? What is your plan to reasonably generate plus or minus $40,000 this month? Guess what? Most of them don't have a plan. All right, so let's move on here. The Opportunity Fund is largely built off of the SCORE model, which you can see on score.org. I used to be a workshop chair for the North Texas SCORE, which included 14 counties around Dallas. which has SCORE has successfully helped business for over 50 years. In fact, the Opportunity Fund was created by current and former SCORE mentors, SBDC advisors, and business lenders. I remember back when I was a SCORE mentor, which I'm not now, when I was a SCORE mentor and sat in that committee meeting, and we're sitting around the table and trying to figure out, how do we solve these people's problems? Because SCORE, no different than ourselves, deals a lot with people that are not capital ready. Because if they were capital ready, they would just go to the bank. These folks have barriers or challenges that we're trying to address. And so this is the concept that was the catalyst for this concept. I remember that meeting clearly at the SCORE office in North Dallas. Similar to SCORE, participants in our Opportunity Fund would spend just an hour or two per week to serve as a credit literacy educator, and they're going to mentor individuals. So don't confuse this with mentoring through access to capital. That's what our joint venture partners do. We're not talking about that. We're talking about mentoring people on credit, not on the full capital raise, not on the 4-week process, to achieve improved credit literacy, resulting in improved credit profiles. And so by doing so, they can receive up to $40,000. And we're going to go through the numbers, so it doesn't seem too good to be true or exaggerated. So what are details on the Opportunity Fund? It's important to understand, because while the Opportunity Fund could be misinterpreted, this is earned income, right? Because what did we say about businesses? We must generate a profit, and the way that we generate a profit is not by borrowing money or begging for money. It's by making sales. We have to sell something to someone to validate the model, to generate income, to generate positive cash flow, and to show that we can afford to pay back debt that we wish to borrow. All right. So credit literacy educators can receive up to $1,000 for mentoring each client. Again, talking about mentoring credit clients, not access to capital. And the game plan is to work with each of the participants in the Opportunity Fund to mentor 10 new clients a week. There's 4 weeks in the month on average. And so that's where the 40 comes from. So that's where the math is. 40 times 1,000 equals $40,000, but we'll dig deeper as we go. Again, this is not debt-based money. It has no interest rate, has no repayment terms. It's earned income. And again, I know there's a lot of people that they just figure they'll just borrow their way into profit, but you can't. You have to generate positive cash flow to be able to have a profitable business. And we have to demonstrate the ability to service debt to be able to even borrow money. The fund or funds are unrestricted, so they can use it to buy real estate, payroll, debt reduction, personal credit improvement, training, travel, it doesn't matter. It's unrestricted. It's earned income, the best type. Opportunity Fund disbursements are paid directly to the credit literacy educators as clients enroll in the white label program. And so we've been talking about the white label program on prior trainings. I'm not going to reiterate that, other than just to suggest that this is where the individual credit literacy educator, as an entrepreneur, they go out and educate, and they can formally educate using our Credit 101 curriculum, award-winning. We have participant guides, instructor guides, PowerPoints, trainer videos, all that, or they can just simply talk to people, or they can just post. It's up to them, again, how they generate the leads. But what they're going to do is bring people into the white label 60-day credit sweep program, otherwise known as 605B. Number 5, if you're not currently cash flowing positively with your business, the Opportunity Fund can provide you earned income easily and immediately. So again, we talk to clients all the time. Their focus is their business. They want to go open a muffin shop, a bakery. And so then they look at the Opportunity Fund and say, I don't want to do that. I just want to run a bakery. Well, great. Let's get you funding to run your bakery. And then we end up finding out, they don't have enough of the 3 C's. So we need to address that. Well, the 60-day credit sweep is often a fix for the credit. Do they have the cash flow to service the debt that they wish to borrow? I'll give you a quick side story, and maybe I shouldn't have a wonderful lady. She's 72 years old. She's a client of ours, and she has none of the 3 C's. She's pretty much insolvent, but a wonderful lady, got a great idea. And so in her case, we were able to get her first round of funding. She was approved for, and she declined it. And we thought, well, that's strange. So I gave her a call. This is last week. I gave her a call and said, why did you decline that loan? That's first round. She's like, I can't afford to pay it back. And that's really what jarred this to be today's discussion. You have some people that want to borrow money that if you gave them a $10,000 loan right now, they'd say, oh yeah, give it to me. And it's like, well, can you afford to pay it back? No. Well, then that's not a good move, right? You don't want to borrow money, even if you could get approved, if you can't afford to pay it back. All right. And so sixth item here is we're positioning this as a 1 month roll, a 30-day roll. Now, the truth is, well, there's a couple of truths, isn't there? You and I know that we could go out and offer the cure for cancer, and some people would accept it and some people wouldn't. I'm a cancer survivor, so hopefully that's not offending anyone. And we could go to, we'll make a different example. We go to the desert and give away free water. And strangely enough, some people would do it and some people wouldn't. Some people just, they don't want to earn income, they just want gifts. But with that being said, we're positioning this as, okay, let's do this for 30 days. Because right now, you do not qualify for any capital. You have none of the 3 C's. You have none of the 3 C's. You're not going to get funded. We've got to address that. That's what we do. We're technical advisors. I can give you one option. Maybe it's not the right option for you, sir or ma'am, but I can give you an option to fix one of the 3 C's in 30 days. And of course, concurrently, we could be working with them on addressing their credit over a 60-day window with a 60-day credit sweep if needed. The point is, if they want to continue for more than 1 month, they're welcome to do so. But what we're trying to do is get them to change behavior in a 30-day period by engaging the Opportunity Fund so they have one more of the 3 C's met so they can obtain financing for whatever it is that they're looking to do, and they have cash flow. Okay, I added a little bit of industry-specific information. When I worked for the SBA, we had a subscription to IBIS World, IBIS. And IBIS World is a for-profit business that sells industry reports. They charge right about $1,000 per report. So I ran a report and paid for a report on the credit repair industry. We are not credit repair professionals. The 60-day credit sweep program is not credit repair. It's not. It's document processing. But it's the industry we're in. So as I prepared for today's discussion, I bought that report and wanted to assimilate some of that information into our discussion. So what do we know? We know that there's around 350 plus or minus million people in the United States. A good percentage of them have jacked up credit. And when they have bad credit, it impacts their access to housing, whether it be renting an apartment, let alone buying a house, transportation, and business financing. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal. I read it yesterday, but it might have been Friday or Saturday's edition, that talks about the housing crisis, the affordable housing crisis. And right now, the cost of materials to build new homes is going up. I think the cost of lumber has gone up like 30% recently, 30%. And there's a shortage of supply of existing homes. But interest rates are low, not as low as they were a year ago. But there's a real problem. The average credit score of a home buyer, according to the Wall Street Journal, now, hasn't been in the past, is a 760. So am I saying that you need a 760 to get a home loan? No, of course you can get lower. But that's now the average. What they're saying is that banks and credit unions and mortgage lenders are increasing the credit requirements to protect themselves from another housing bust. So strong credit is just so valuable in all aspects of our lives, but certainly what motivates most people is either better housing, better transportation, and or business financing. With that being said, there is a significant demand for a legal, guaranteed, affordable, and effective credit improvement solution. So again, we're talking about industry, we're talking macro level now, kind of at the strategic level. Furthermore, according to IBIS World, The credit repair industry, which isn't the industry we're in, but we're helping people with credit. So let's look at this number. This amazed me. And again, this is according to IBIS World over the weekend. The credit industry is a $3.4 billion, with a B, billion-dollar industry. Right now, we're only helping about 100 clients a week, and that'll continue to grow with the 60-day credit sweep. But you look at some of the major players, according to IBIS World, Lexington Law is still the largest credit repair player, but credit repair is a very fragmented industry. Lots of moms and pops and small businesses that operate. Some do a better job than others. And again, we're not credit repair, but the credit improvement industry, if we want to call it that, is absolutely huge. And so what if together we only captured, and well, I don't even know if I could get billion into my online calculator. What if we were to capture just 1% of that market? 1%. Well, it's incredible. So there's a tremendous demand. And while it's very crowded over in the credit repair industry, the credit sweep side is not. It's called a blue ocean. So there's a great opportunity. But what we know is we have to have, as I started our conversation with, we have to have leads, and we can either organically generate them. And some of you are great. There's several of you that are bringing in more than 10 credit sweep clients per week already. And we just launched this a couple weeks ago. You're already making that 10,000 plus per week, but others tend to struggle. They may not have that same skill set to generate organically leads. And so what do? If you can't generate your own, then you purchase leads. The pushback that we had from some of you is, well, I don't have any money to purchase leads. And that's why I started by showing you that view of Fiverr, where that person, again, I don't know if they're good at that or not. I've not worked with them. All I'm here to tell you is that you can hire people, often from third world countries, because their labor cost is so much lower, for next to nothing. It's very affordable. In the example I showed you, they were charging $1 per what he or she said was exclusive and valid credit repair leads. So what you're doing then is pivoting them away from looking for credit repair and educating them about how the FCRA 605B works, and then helping them get into the 60-day credit sweep if that's a good fit for them. Also, I mean, you can just do an online search. And I listed like 4 of them that I found a week or so ago, but just do your own search for credit repair leads, and you'll find ways to get live transfers to you, or aged leads, or anywhere in between. So again, let's talk about why we're discussing this again, and then we'll move on to page 2. If you want to borrow money, not meaning you, but if a client, if a person wants to borrow money, you have to have the 3 C's. You have to have at least one of the 3 C's. The more that you have, the better. And so often with our clients, the access to capital clients, a lot of them are missing multiple C's, but also cash flow. We can help them fix cash flow in 30 days by using this strategy. So that's what we're talking about. So we've covered page 1. Now we're on to page 2. I always like keeping these to 1 page, but I couldn't do it with the amount of content. So now let's get down to practical matters. We've talked big picture. We've talked about the industry. We've talked about the strategic marketplace. We've talked about competition a little bit and the need for what we do. Now let's talk about how to implement. So the process of being a credit literacy educator is simple, very little training being required, no prior experience necessary. So here's specifically the steps that we're going to be helping clients with, that you could as well if you want, to help them earn an adult income so they have at least one of the 3 C's. So first, we want them to be educated. So we have a training video that is on the 60-day credit sweep. Training video, sorry, plural, on 60-day credit sweep on the training page. Then they complete a background check to become a credit literacy educator, and there's a form on the career page to do that. Same website, just a different page, right? Then they're going to have to make a decision of, well, where are my leads going to come from? If they don't already have leads, they need to either generate them organically or they need to buy them or have someone generate them for them. So that has to be a decision that's made, an explicit decision. Could you do both? Of course. But again, if our goal is to generate profit, we have to make sales. And to make sales, we have to have leads. So they have to make that decision. And then obviously we have these trainings like we're having right now. And this is the registration link. We have these most weekdays at 8 o'clock Central. We start usually a minute before, and we record them via YouTube and share them afterwards. And so we obviously need to continue to train and support you all, because the more people we help, the better we fulfill our mission. Again, some of you may say, well, wait, we're talking an awful lot about credit here. I'm more interested in helping small businesses access capital. Well, this is relevant in two regards. Number one, the 3 C's. And secondly, well, we'll come back to that. Let me come back to that. Okay, so compensation. Let's go through the compensation. So the mentoring is certainly a loose verb, because mentoring really equates to generate awareness and feed them in, because a credit literacy educator does not have any responsibility once the client has paid and enrolled, other than one element we'll talk about in a moment, which is the upsell. So by mentoring clients, which takes next to no time, and helping them improve their credit literacy and profiles via the 60-day credit suite, you net around $1,000 for every client. We had a different training, but just to make sure everyone knows how that's calculated. Through the white label, you pick the price that you want to charge the client. It's up to you. You could charge them $0, you could give it away. You could charge them $5,000. But the most common that we've seen is charging the client $1,000 up front and the $1,000 60 days later. So $2,000 total. What you know is that you'll forward $839 to us so we can pay the law firm to do the document processing. So that's the cost of, it's called in accounting, it's called COSS, cost of services sold, or if it was a material product, cost of goods sold, COGS. But you might say, oh my goodness, well, if I collect $2,000 from the client, I'm going to have an expense. Well, of course, you couldn't, even in our bakery example, right? If you sold a muffin for $2, does that mean you made $2 profit off the muffin? Of course not. You had to have your bakery open with electricity and rent and people making the muffins and people selling the muffins and so forth. You're not going to find business opportunities, business concepts, business models that are pure profit. You're going to always have some expense. So in the white label 60-day credit sweep, your expense structure is $839. You can set the pricing model that you want. Anything above $839, you could go below that, but then you generate a loss, which probably wouldn't be smart. The most common, again, is $1,000 up front, $1,000 in 60 days, or many of you are offering a prompt payment discount where they pay you a one-time payment of $1,500. It's up to you. Some of you are setting up payment plans with people. Again, that's up to you. It doesn't matter to us. You're just going to forward in the $839 to us, and then we're going to implement. Okay. This is no expense. So we don't charge people to be credit literacy educators. We don't charge people to be a white label partner. However, there is the background check. And let's clarify this background check, because I think there's some misnomers. We have, probably on our call right now, we have ex-felons. We have people that are on parole. We have people, of course, that aren't, that are credit literacy educators. We are not filtering people out in that regard. We need to confirm who someone is who they say they are, so they're not acting as misleading to clients, because in the white label, they're going out to the marketplace. So we have a one-time $99.99 background check fee. So it's not restricting out people because of their personal credit or even their criminal history, but it's meant to validate people are who they say that they are. Plus, of course, there's a cost of getting the file set up and all of that. But our position is we don't charge anyone to be a credit literacy educator. However, there is a one-time background check fee, and we don't charge anything at all to be a white label partner, which is a huge deal. There was a lot of discussion when we were getting ready to launch the white label partnership that, this is valuable. And so what could the charge be? And we decided $0. All right, now this is an important step here. So even if you've tuned out on me for a little bit, please tune in for the next 1 minute. 1 week after each client enrolls in the white label 60-day credit suite, a best practice, which means it's not required, but it's recommended, is for you to follow back up with them and say, hey, now I see that you're in the 60-day credit boost. Awesome. You're well on your way to much better credit. Let's go ahead and get you started so you're ready for a $100,000 capital raise at the end of that 60-day period. What do you think? And so what does that mean? It means that now you're going to go ahead and enroll them in the no upfront cost access to capital program. Well, that's an extraordinarily comfortable fit if the person is wanting to improve their credit to start or grow a business. Because we've talked a couple times, there's 3 main reasons why people want the utility of better credit. It's often housing, transportation, or business loans. Not always. But what I'm saying here is that if you're good at what you do, and I'm sure you will be, you can pivot them from being in the credit sweep and getting them enrolled in the access to capital 1 week after they started the credit sweep. Again, why? 2 reasons. No upfront cost. People love no upfront cost. And secondly, now they're plugged into a system to have a guaranteed $100,000 capital raise. How do you do that? Well, we have a new affiliate partner process that we'll officially announce this week, but you're getting a sneak peek. So the new affiliate partner sign up is on the iimfl.org website, also an access to capital. It's a gray button there. So even if you're an affiliate over in the legacy model, Post Affiliate Pro, you'll want to do this. This still has the 3 levels of overrides and such, but we needed to move from operating off of 2 different platforms into one. So in the past, we used Post Affiliate Pro for affiliates, but here we're using what used to be called Infusionsoft. Now it's called Keep, K-E-A-P, as the CRM. We couldn't get the 2 to talk together, so now the affiliate partner infrastructure is on that same CRM. So it allows for better reporting to you and more seamless experience for the client. So once you do this, which is free and easy, you don't pay anything now or later or ever, then what will happen is you'll get a personalized link, and that's where you're going to be submitting your access to capital clients to. So it's changing, and we'll again make that formal announcement soon. So now, where do you send in your access to capital clients, whether they've gone through this process or not? It's going to be using a personalized link that's generated for you once you're set up as an affiliate partner. So let's talk about the money. So you're going to get the money up front from the client when they enroll in the white label 60-day credit sweep. And that's up to you how much you're charging them, right? We know your cost is $839. You can mark that up a little. You can mark that up a lot. You can make it a loss leader and charge below that if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. But regardless, that's between you and them. Separate from that, in addition to that, then by following this process, this best practice, now you're going to earn an extra $1,000 to $1,250, depending upon if you're an affiliate or joint venture partner, when they submit their deferred refundable deposit. Well, we all know that historically we've had a lot of clients that came into access to capital. They didn't have any of the 3 C's. And so then it was like getting blood out of a turnip to be able to get funding, their first tranche of funding. Well, now that problem is fixed, right? Because if they lack any of the 3 C's, you're going to bring them into the 60-day credit suite. You're going to price it as you want. You're going to make on average $1,000 up front from each one. They're paying you directly. And then they're going to be qualified for funding, or at least a lot better qualified for funding. So now we can actually get true first tranches of financing for them that provides them working capital, not just the cost of the loan package, the $2,500 deferred refundable deposit. But the point is, you'll generate another $1,000 to $1,250, depending upon which hat you're wearing, in addition to the upfront $1,000, because this is in your pocket right now. This is going to be once they've completed the credit sweep, maybe sooner if they have any of the 3 C's. In addition to that, of course, you're going to continue to be paid off of their capital raise. You make up to 3% off of their capital raise. If you enroll them in access to capital using this best practice, you know you're going to make at least $3,000 more, because we're contractually guaranteeing a minimum of $100,000 capital raise, and they're promising to work with us to raise at least $100,000. So all of a sudden you got $1,000 here, another $1,000 here, which could be more, I know, and then another $3,000 here. We're sitting on $5,000 per client on the low end. Now, of course, we don't cap the client's capital raise and access to capital at $100,000. They could raise more and you make more. They could raise even more and you make even more. They could raise a lot more and you make even more. But just off of the minimums, off of the $1,000, the $1,000, and the $3,000, I mean, you're sitting at over $5,000. And the most important of that $5,000 is what's in your pocket right now, because we need this model. By switching and focusing on the white label model, gets money into your pocket right now. You're not waiting for us to pay you commissions off of it. You're paid directly by the client. That's also having a much more dramatic impact to your business financials. So let's say that you collect $2,000 from the client, $1,000 now, $1,000 in 60 days. Well, if you're helping any measurable number of clients at all, that's going to really make your banking history look stronger. It's going to make your business financials look stronger. So that, of course, gives you more money. But what I'm trying to explain is, in addition to just giving you more money, which is probably your biggest priority, it's also positioning your business for a larger capital raise, because your business looks vibrant. It's not a dead, lethargic, inactive business. It has material cash flow coming through. All right, and then we just summarize by how to become a credit literacy educator. So now we're going to get to your questions, comments, concerns. All right, so Stephen asked, the 60-day credit sweep is due after ? I don't know what that means, but I can tell you that you're going through the white label, Stephen. You're going to collect the money from the client. As we said, you'll collect whatever amount that you want, a little or a lot. It's up to them and you. And then you're going to submit the 839 in for the document processing, and then we're going to implement. Let me know, Stephen, if I missed your point. Robert is one of our most active mentors, and Robert's gotten so busy, he's not even accepting new clients now, which is amazing. I think that says a lot about the growth of our program and the need for more mentors. But regardless, so Robert, yeah, so if you're mentoring a client, you're absolutely correct. You can go ahead and we'll send out a PDF of this with the recording, and you can share this with your clients. So let's say that you're on week 2 with them, and Robert, you're looking at their personal and financial statement, and you're trying to start to figure out, do you have any of these 3 C's? Where are we at? And you see that they don't have any cash flow, or they don't have material cash flow. You might want to go ahead and introduce to them the 30-day, $40,000 opportunity fund. It wouldn't require really effort on your part. You just share this with them and maybe nudge them along a little bit. They'll review this information and make an educated decision. But this is crucial for small businesses that do not have adequate cash flow to service the debt. I just can't tell you how often people will come to us and they want to borrow money that greatly exceeds their ability to pay the bills each month. You know, they're sitting on next to no money in their business bank account. They hardly have any money coming in, and they want to borrow some large amount of money. Think about it. If you were a banker, why would you loan them money? There's no confidence that they can afford to pay it back. They look like a charge-off just waiting to happen. Hopefully that answered your question, Robert. Let me know if I missed it. John has 2 to 3 people that wants to get started on access to capital today, and he was waiting. Okay, so we are in the process. So the new front end is live. We've just not officially rolled it out. What you'll want to do, John and others, is certainly yourselves get your affiliate partner link established by going to the Access to Capital page of iimfl.org, which is a new page. It was added a week or so ago by our programmer. And then there's a gray button to get as an affiliate partner. If you want to go ahead and so then we'll have to approve you, which is not a problem. But if you want to submit those leads even before your affiliate link is approved, you can go ahead and drop them in. Also on the Access to Capital page, there is a dynamic form that's embedded on that page, and it literally links into the CRM. So, and we'll talk about this in the official rollout, but just because John brought it up, there are 3 steps to clients enrolling now, but it happens seamlessly. So step 1 is they go to the Access to Capital page of IIMFL. They fill out that embedded form with just, I think, 4 pieces of information: first name, last name, email, and phone. Then, and just keep in mind, that's on the website. Once you set up an affiliate account with us on this new platform, you'll have your own link to give them. But in absence of that, they go to the main website, they fill that out, and that goes to page 2. Page 2, or step 2, they review the terms and conditions online, and they have to accept them to progress. So that's instead of going through DocuSign, which has been a delay. And then step 3, we gather some information from them that includes referral source. Now, again, if you're set up as an affiliate partner and you're giving them your own link, it's automatically tracked to you. But what you could do, John, is you could actually get them on the phone and walk them through those 3 steps. It wouldn't take you but about 5 minutes. Step 1 is they put in their name, first name, last name, email, phone, hit submit, takes them to step 2, which is to review the terms and conditions, click I accept. Step 3 is to put in some basic demographic information. So that way the referred by would be by you. If someone gets orphaned off, and I hate to use that word, let's say that someone forgets to use your link, or they don't list referred by you on step 3, because again, if they use your link, they don't have to list referred by you. We automatically know. Just let us know and we can add you to their account. We always want you to get credit. All right, so hopefully that was helpful, John. Yeah, let's go ahead and get those 2 to 3 people going today. Steven says, thanks, you are welcome. Mark says, so the money from the Opportunity Fund can be used. Well, you can use the money you earn from the Opportunity Fund for anything that you want to start or grow a business, to down payment on a house, whatever you want. It's unrestricted. All right, let's see. Greg says, is there a contact we can use for the credit suite for the client to sign that helps get the back end payment that they owe? Oh, contract, not contact. Well, so that's a good point, Greg. Each of you will want to make a decision. Do you want to just collect upfront from the client, or do you want to have a second or later payments due? We call that accounts receivable. And so if you're going to have a payment plan of any variety, now you've got bigger issues, right? Now you're going to have to figure out how to remind them and how to collect from them. So some of you might not want to deal with that. You might just say, no, pay up front or don't do it. Or you could set up what we do is kind of a layaway plan. Okay, put in a payment now, and then once you've paid it in full, like at Walmart, I guess they still do that at Christmas time around October, November, a layaway plan, right? So you want to buy a new Barbie house for a kid. And so the Barbie house is $69. You don't have $69. They have a layaway plan where you give them $20 and they set the Barbie house aside, but you don't take the Barbie house home until you pay the $69 plus tax. So what you could do is do a layaway plan so they don't actually they wouldn't get the service until they paid in full. But if you want to set up a payment arrangement, you're right, you're going to need to have some sort of agreement with them and a method to collect, which is more complicated. So it'd be easier just to say, oh, it's a flat $1,500, pay up front. I don't have it. Well, when you get it, let me know. But that's up to you. And so, yes, we'll record today's training as we normally do. We have a YouTube channel that has all the past trainings on it, and it's very transparent. There's no passwords or any, you can just watch the YouTubes and you don't have to register anything. Let's see. Yeah, so Joseph's one of our JV partners, and he's wanting to mentor more orphan clients, so we can certainly talk about that. But primarily, it's kind of like earned income, right? Your primary way of mentoring more clients is to generate more clients. That's the primary role. And if you look at the joint venture agreement, you promise to go out and help a good number of clients per month. And now we're waiving the fee to be a joint venture partner. We announced that a few days ago. So now you can be a joint venture partner at no cost. Kenny asked, as far as on the key person policy, can he use term life insurance as the collateral for the key person policy? Yes, sir. Many of you are doing that. Andre asked, can you get an affiliate link? Yep. And the way you get an affiliate link is the same here. So these are new. We're calling it affiliate partner just to make it different. But the reason we're doing this is because we want the affiliate data to be in the same database, what used to be called Infusionsoft, now called Keep, the same place as the client data. So everything is you have better reporting and it is seamless. We have instead of having to wait to send them a DocuSign, they see the terms and conditions there on the page, and they can get started much more quickly. So yes, Andre, right there, affiliate partner. You're fine using the current link. So Peggy's got a big marketing campaign. It's not a problem to keep marketing the way that you were with the landing pages that you have. So don't feel any stress or hesitation to continue any marketing campaigns that you have going. New marketing so there's no problem with that, Peggy. But new marketing campaigns will want to plug into this new system, which will officially be rolling out this week. Yeah, and so on the credit sweep, and maybe it wasn't quite so specific, we covered it in past training. So you'll, again, on the white label, you'll collect whatever money that you want, and you're going to send in our portion, which is $839, and most people are sending it in via Zelle or MoneyGram, but you can also do wire. So just let us know, Peggy, how you want to submit, and we can make sure you have the right information to do so. All right. James asked where the 40,000 is coming from. So let's go back. That's my fault, not yours. So just looking at the upfront money alone, ignoring all the back end, if they're earning on average 1,000 for each client enrolled in the white label 60-day credit suite, and we're doing 10 clients per week, which equates to about 40 a month, 40 James times 1,000 is 40,000. And again, James, I know you and several others, you guys some of you make a lot of money, and an extra 40,000 a month, I guess, is boring to you. But for a lot of us, you know, for an extra $40,000 a month, credibly, legally, effectively helping people is a big deal. So I ask for some of you that are very fortunate, very privileged, don't look down on the rest of us that's trying to support our families, because for the average person on our webinars, an extra $40,000 a month is a big deal. But I do realize, James, it may not be for you. All right, so Stefan asked, do clients get, okay, so currently the 60-day credit sweep is still off of a DocuSign format. We've not migrated it over, but as I've shared with you, we have migrated over the access to capital, and that, if I can highlight it correctly, is now based off of I don't know why it doesn't want to link, but off of this. Struggling to highlight. Adam asked about the joint venture. So what we said, and I'll reiterate, as long as you're bringing in at least 3 white label 60-day credit sweep clients this week, I don't know why I can't highlight very well. There we go. As long as you bring in 3 this week, then we'll waive your JV payment next week. And the same goes on. So, Adam, I don't think that you brought in 3 last week. You had a great week, but I don't think you brought in 3, but maybe I'm mistaken. I know you brought in some. But if you didn't bring in 3 last week, then you'd pay your normal JV fee. But our goal is for each of you not to just generate 1 or 2 or even 3, but the goal really needs to be is 10 a week. Well, how do we get 10 a week? We need leads. Where do we get leads? We either have to organically generate them, as we've talked about, or we need to go buy them or work with people to generate them. But this is clearly what we're looking for credit literacy educators and joint venture partners to do. We want them to be earning an adult income. You got to think big. There's such a huge opportunity, and maybe I wasn't effective, and that's my fault. But we talked about this is a $3.4 billion industry, and we have a unique offering. No one else has an offering like we have with the 60-day credit sweep. It's not credit repair, it's document processing, following federal laws under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 605B. We want every one of you to be earning at least $10,000 a week. All right, so let's see here. I think we've about covered it. There might be a few miscellaneous questions, but we've ran way long. So let me close this out and summarize. We are excited today, as of April 5th, 2021, to announce the 30-day $40,000 Opportunity Fund. It is a system, a method, a credible, legitimate, proven method that will allow anyone to earn $40,000 in a month. They could do it just 1 month and then have the funds that they need for whatever purpose, or they can do it for 1 month and then continue subsequent months. There's no cost to do this. The credit literacy educator is a free roll. I know there's the little background check fee, but ignoring that, there's no cost to be a credit literacy educator. There's no cost to be a white label partner. This is an opportunity for us to collaborate, help our 501c3 better meet our mission, which is to A, improve financial literacy, B, improve credit, and C, provide increased access to capital. This 2-page document will be shared with each of you. I'll send it out with a recording of the YouTube. If you have additional questions, comments, concerns, you have our contact information. You can email us, you can call us, you can certainly visit the website, and we'll move forward. But thank you for your time. I'm excited for this new element because, again, in summary, if you want to borrow money, if a client wants to borrow money, you have to meet at least one of the 3 C's: credit worthiness, which we can address with credit sweep in most cases, cash flow, which we now can address, and then collateral, which we can help them set up a key person policy. We now can help anyone meet all 3 C's. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Bye.